Hello and welcome to Howard's Horse Handicapping. This is Howard Kravitz. Thanks for joining me. I have a bonus video for this week. We're going to talk about the huge Pick 5 carryover for the Stronach 5 bet, which occurs at several different tracks this Friday. It's an outstanding bet. Before we get into that, I need you, please subscribe right there and join me on this YouTube channel. It's growing by leaps and bounds. My Twitter handle is growing. Things are looking fantastic. Thanks to you and your support. I really appreciate it. Also, please comment down below the video player on anything we talk about here on the Stronach 5 or anything else you'd like to see on this show. And remember, tomorrow, this is Thursday, depending on when you're watching this show, but Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, a live stream on this YouTube channel, a live stream, great show talking about the huge day at the fairgrounds in New Orleans this Saturday. We're going to talk about the Pick 5 and break down the 4 Grade 2 stake races, the biggest day at the fairgrounds. It's going to be fantastic. Again, please join me live stream on this Thursday for our show at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. But tonight we are here to talk about the Stronach 5. So let's talk about the Stronach 5 and what it looks like, because I'll tell you what, this is going to be one heck of a bet. It's very exciting sequence. It's a sequence you don't want to miss. So here is the information on the Pick 5. It's sponsored by all the tracks that are owned by Stronach. It's a almost a $155,000 Pick 5 carryover. It's only a 12% takeout. You can see there are 2 races at Laurel. There's a race at Gulfstream, a race at Santa Anita, and a race at Golden Gate. And this sequence starts at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time on Friday. 4:30 in the afternoon, 3:30 Central Time on Friday. There's $155,000 in the pool right now. My guess, now this is a dollar Pick 5, just to keep in mind if you're not familiar with the Stronach 5. The minimum bet here is $1. So you got to open up your pocketbooks a little bit. It's going to cost you a little, obviously twice as much money as normal if you play a 50-cent Pick 5 sequence, but it is well worth it. It always pays many more times the parlay than it should. I'm guessing there's going to be upwards of $600,000, $700,000 plus in this Pick 5 pool. And what you really want to do, I'm just a small shark, you're just a small shark in a very big ocean. What you want to do is get several friends together, maybe at your office at work or whatever, virtually, call a bunch of people, relatives. Let's put in 50 bucks here, 60 bucks there, get 10, 20, 30 people and put together a $1,000, $2,000 Pick 5 ticket, because there are going to be some syndicates out there that are going to unload on several $1,000 tickets. You don't need a several $1,000 ticket to hit this bet. As we talk about it, I really think this is a glorified Pick 4, because the last race there's a huge favorite and he looks like he's going to be very tough to beat. So really it's more like a dollar Pick 4 bet. But I highly recommend, again, you pool your money together with some friends. Again, play a ticket you want. Play a $16 ticket. Play a $50 ticket. Get some friends together. Play a several $100 ticket. Whatever you want to do, this bet is well worth it. Again, this happens this Friday. Now, 2 quick things. I'm not going to spend quite as much time on this video, and I'm not going to show replays either, because I wanted to shorten the time here on this video. But I am going to go through the past performances. I'm going to hopefully give you some great ideas. Use my ticket. I'm going to show you an ABC and a Caveman ticket as usual at the end of the show here, the end of the video. Use it. Don't use it. Use it as a guide, whatever you like to do. But I have looked at these races extensively, and hopefully I can help you find some winners and crush this Pick 5 on this Friday, March 19th, is the Stronach 5. So let's jump. We're going to jump right in to the Pick 5 sequence. And let me just set this up for you. The Pick 5 starts right here in, it starts at Laurel, and it starts in race 8. Let me set this up. So the first sequence, leg one is race 8. It's 6 furlongs for 3-year-old fillies. Optional claiming tag is 62,000. N1 axis is non-winners of 1. So just to go ahead and quickly scroll through this, this is an 8-horse field. Now, something that I do want to mention, let me go ahead and put myself partially on screen so we can uh, talk as you can see me as well as we can go through the PPs here. So this sequence, again, is a pick 5. Now, the weather at Laurel, it looks a little bit shaky Thursday. It looks like it's going to rain for sure on Thursday into Friday. Possibly stop Friday midday. I'm going to guess, and this is just just completely speculative, but I believe we are not going to have a fast track at Laurel on Friday. It might dry up, it might be fast. I'm guessing there's going to be some moisture in the ground, so keep that in mind when you handicap uh, the races at Laurel, and there's 2 of them at Laurel. So this starts as an 8-horse field, and I'm going to talk about my top 2 choices first. First of all, there is definitely speed in this field. As you can see, the 2 Little Huntress has a 119 early time form. Pretty Lori has a 112 early time form. So there definitely is some inside speed. You see the 6 Hypnotizada with a 102 early US pace figure, and the 8 a 108 early uh, time form US pace. So there figures to be plenty of pace in this race, but the strange thing about this race is I don't see a lot of high quality closers. So because of that, I'm going to take the best, what I think is the best outside speed. I've talked about this on the show a bunch of times. When you have a choice between inside and outside speed and a sprint, I'm almost always going to go with the outside speed. One of my top choices, and again, you don't have to write this down, folks. I will show you my ABC and Caveman Ticket at the end of the show. One of my top choices is the 6, Hypnotizada. Now, this horse is off quite a long layoff, but Pecoraro, his stats are good enough off the layoff. This horse, as you can see, was staked last year at Alice as a 2-year-old. He's got consistent works down at Gulfstream Park West, which used to be Calder, which is now closed, including a bullet in the holster, 49 and 3 breezing at a minute, and it's a very deep track. So my feeling here is the horse is ready to go. Notice Carol Cedeno is the jockey, and look, the biggest win this horse got back at Delaware last summer was with Carol Cedeno. I think there's a lot of intent here. I think Pecoraro could have put this horse in a lot of different spots, and they decided to race him in a nice allowance race here without the tag. So I think it's going to get a nice stalking trip. I think this horse is going to be ready. The number 6 at 5-1, one of my top choices. Another top choice for me is the 8, Paradise Song. Consistent buyers. I love the post here for Trombetta, and Pimentel also has a bullet in the holster, has been working consistently. She'll get a nice stalking trip on the outside. The horses will break. She'll have a chance to see what's going on the inside, and I like the 8 also. Those are my 2 top choices. Other horses to consider. I'm guessing, and this is just a guess, that the 2 Little Huntress at 3-1 might be the favorite. You see, she ran a big race 2 back as a maiden with a 75, winning by 14. I liked her last time in a stake race, and I got to be honest, she was awful. But it was a very fast pace. They went 22-3, 44 and 4. This horse definitely has talent. The only reason I'm not putting her as an A is because it looks like there's a lot of speed again, and it appears she's going to be on the inside being pressed by outside horses. I completely can understand why a lot of you would use this horse as an A and upgrade this horse higher than I have her. But again, I'm concerned she might get caught up in a pace duel on the inside, which is not where you want to be. I'm using her as a B. She can absolutely win. The other horse I think is really interesting at a price here is what I foresee is maybe the best closer in the race, and that is the 4, Malibu Beauty. Now, Malibu Beauty, I'm a sucker for turnbacks. This horse will be going a mile and a mile 16th. Her last win was at this distance, 6 furlongs, although it was a slower race and is only in for maiden 40. This horse is not as talented as the other horses. This horse can only win with a pace meltdown, but I think that is definitely a possibility in this race. I'm using the 4 as a B to come with a huge close on the turn back. The other horse I'm using this race is the 3, Pretty Lori. I'm not a fan of a horse who won a race that was meant for the turf. You see, this race was scratched off the turf. Sure, she won by 7 impressively, but again, she was meant for the turf. Now she's been off since September, although working well, but again, another pace factor. There's a lot of speed in this race. I don't like inside speed. Sure, she can win, but I don't like the fact that she won her last race in a race that was meant for turf, number one. And number two, there's a lot of other speed in this race. I'm using Pretty Lori as a C. The other seahorse is the 5, Koopy Doll. She's consistent, but she's generally speaking pretty slow. I don't see the big upside for this horse, but I'm using her as a backup because she can close. The other thing that I want to worth mentioning is I do not like horses in for the tag. Excuse me, this horse is in for the 62.5, so they're willing to give her up for 62.5. I do not like that in general. So my top choices in the first race again are 6, 8. I will show you the ticket at the end of the sequence. The next race in the sequence is at Gulfstream. Let's go there. I found this to be a very difficult race. This is race 8 at Gulfstream. It's leg 2 of the Stronach 5 bet. Excuse me as I take a look at something here. It's leg 2 of the Stronach 5 bet. I just realized I'm not on camera. Let's go ahead and put myself on camera if you don't mind there. So this is leg 2 of the Stronach 5 bet. This is a mile race on the dirt, claiming 62.5. You see the purse there for 21,000. And the field size, we just scroll down. This is another 8-horse field. This is a tough race. These low-level claimers, especially going a mile, I find to be very difficult at Gulfstream. They tend to just beat each other up when they go out there. There's not a lot of consistency, and therefore, of the 8 horses, I'm going to go ahead and use 6. I think the pace is pretty murky. As you just scroll down, you see early paces of 85, 82. There's a 98, so the 3 definitely has some speed. The 6 is definitely going to show speed with a 102 early pace figure. So you figure, at least on paper, the 3 and 6, who, by the way, are both coming out of sprint races, figure to be on or close to the lead. If you're a speed kind of player and you just want to take speed, then you should probably use the 3 and 6 for sure in this race. Very highly valued on your ticket. But keep in mind, this is a mile race, and both the 3 and the 6 might have some distance issues. Let's go to my top choices. My top choices, and I have 3 of them, is the 4 for Paco Lopez. Etana, she was in a race with a bunch of others last time, and you see the pace. And again, I'm not going to show the replay. Feel free to watch it on your own. This February 21st, February 25th replay, there were a bunch of horses coming out of that race. And although they went 46 and 4 to the half, which is definitely reasonable, the first quarter was only 24 and 1. So they sort of went slow early and they picked it up late. It's hard to close into that. She's nothing special, but I think she is the best closer in this race, and I think there's a lot of speed in this race. So I'm using the 4, Etana, as one of my A's. Another A I'm going to use is another solid mid-pack horse, the 5, She Takes Heart. Also notice She Takes Heart was in the same race as Etana and some others on February 25th, but she was coming off a long layoff. Now, she is 8 years old. I do not like older horses in general, but this horse has back numbers that absolutely fit here. She's also showed some speed in the past, so I don't think she'll be quite as far back as she was last time, considering she's second off the layoff. She showed speed in the past. I like the 5 also in this race, maybe at a price 6-1 morning line. The other top choice in this race I'm going to use is the 6, Flashing Diamond. Again, she was pretty solid last year. Look, she was racing in 30 claimers, 25 claimers. I mean, allowance. She was in a 50K little stake. I mean, she's got tons of back class here. And then she went sour towards the end of the summer, as you can see. They rested her up, and you see the buyers are slowly now starting to improve. 2 of those numbers were at 6 furlongs, but she showed in the past that she can get this distance. It's Gaffleone with an outside post. I like everything about that. I'm using the 6 also as a top choice. So my top choice in this race are 4, 5, 6. As B's, I'm going to use the 2, Assume Control for Jaramillo. He takes over for Saez. This horse did wire this field last time. Now, she was against a bunch of these other horses and did wire the field, so that is obviously a positive. But there's two things I don't like about this horse as a top choice. Number one, there's more speed in this race than there was last time. Number two, you just don't see these low level horses give exactly the same effort again and win twice in a row. I mean, look at the PPs. When has this horse won twice in a row? Probably never. I just don't like that as an angle, or as a it's an angle that I don't like. I think it's a big negative. Sure, she can win, and I'm using her, but I'm going to use Assume Control as a B. Also, as a B, I'm going to use what I think is the main speed here, Bahamian Girl. I'm very concerned about the distance. You see a lot of her races are mainly 6, 6.5, 7. But if it's speed favoring on Friday at Gulfstream like it can be, you definitely have to use this horse. I just don't like her as a top choice. I am using her as a B. And the other B that I'm going to use in this race is the 8, Grace's Drama. I didn't know what to do with Grace's Drama. She's got very consistent figs, a nice outside post. There's a lot of things to like about her. I just don't like the trend she's going in here. Uh, she ran a 61 two back, and then it was claimed for Gary Jackson. Gary Jackson's barn is a little bit cold. He's only 1 for 17 at this meet. He's really not a high percentage trainer. And the first time he ran, or she ran for Gary Jackson, was last time in the same race again against Assume Control. She takes heart. A lot of these horses, again, watch that February 25th race if you'd like to on Gulfstream's YouTube channel. She didn't run well at all. I don't think she's moving forward. I'm using her as a B out of respect to her back class, but I'm really a little bit dubious right now of her form. So I'm using 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 in this race. So let me just go ahead and go back um, to another screen here. So, in my opinion, I really think you have to spread in the first two races. I've talked about being very careful of spreading too much early. Do yourself a favor in this bet and other bets. Do not spread early just to stay alive. It is a common mistake that younger, less experienced handicappers make because they just want the thrill of staying alive. But you know what? Whether you lose in leg 5 or whether you lose on leg 1, who cares? It's still a loss. The key is you want to hit this bet. So I'm only going deep in the first two legs because I feel these first two legs you have to go deep in. I'm not doing it to try to stay alive. I think these first two legs are quite difficult, and that's why I'm doing it. Let's go on to leg 3 of this sequence. Leg 3 of the sequence is back to Laurel. It's Laurel's ninth race. These are very, how do I put this? Lower level horses. These are 5.5. This is a 5.5 furlong race. 4-year-olds and up fillies, maiden 10,000. These are some of the lowest level horses on the grounds at Laurel. To put this nicely, none of these horses are going to be going to the Kentucky Oaks or winning a stake race anytime soon. But you need these kind of horses to fill cards. And in some respects, I'm happy that this race is in the sequence because maybe you can find that price that'll get you to be a part of a big ticket. This is a pretty big field. This is a 12 horse field. Actually, excuse me, it's a 13 horse field. There's a coupled entry. There might be some scratches we'll have to see. I'm using 4 horses in this race, and I got to tell you, there's a horse in this race that people are really going to have to make a decision on. Let's go right to that horse first of all. Um, the one thing I will say is I do not see a ton of speed in this race, so let me just get that right off the top. I don't see a ton of speed. The number 10, Thunder in the Valley, is 9 to 5 morning line, and I'm guessing it might even be lower at post time. I'm guessing 6 to 5, 7 to 5, even in a big field. I will say one thing about this horse. This horse is consistent. You see, she's got 11 lifetime starts. She's come in second 5 times and third 4 times. That's a good thing. She's in the money. She pays the bills. Here's the problem. Take a look at the odds right here. This is a complete and total money burner. She's been favored one, two, three, four times in the last about 7 starts, including losing at 30 cents to the dollar. Last time she lost at 80 cents to the dollar. She was bothered a little bit last time, but let me tell you something. This is no killer horse at all. She's got an apprentice jockey on her. Do you really want to play a big ticket and put all your money into a single on the 10? I sure don't, that's for sure. I don't trust this horse at all. Can she win? Of course. Is she one of my top choices? Yes. Would I single her? Never in a million years. There's a horse in this race that's a big price that I think is very interesting. And the other horse I'm using as my main horse in this race is the 8 Shuffleboard. Now, I know what you're going to say, Howard, what a ridiculous pick. How can you like the 8? There's two things that I like about the 8, and let me tell you about it. First of all, the 8, as you can see, was bet first time out. I like horses no matter what the level is. And by the way, this was in a maiden 16. This is only a maiden 8 to 10 claimer today. So she was heavily bet in a maiden 16 in January, only 2 months ago. And I like the fact that she was well meant. You can see she's got works, especially this work right here, which comparatively speaking is good enough. Now, she did not run well in that race, and she only has 2 slow works since. So this might be a horrible pick on my part. I'm taking a flyer. However, the other angle I like, other than the fact that she was bet first time out, is the trainer Dove Houghton, who is not a well-known trainer, second time out. Are we ready? Second time out, 17%. That is very good for this trainer. Again, this trainer, second time out. In fact, I'll go ahead and show you the stat. I'm going to go ahead and set it up for you here. Second career start. You see it there. It is 5 for 29, 17%. And the last time he won with this move was in September of 2020. So with an average payoff with positive ROI in the money 41% of the time. So the trainer has good stats with this situation, and this horse was bet first time out. Guys, I have no idea if this horse can run. I'm going to be flat out honest, but I cannot possibly use the 10 as my lone horse in this race. I'm using 2 others in this race. I'm using the 4, Turkish Angel. Before you laugh, I know, look, lost by 20, lost by 21, lost by 25, lost by 21, lost by 27. Again, Howard, are you crazy? No. Steadied, off slow, stumbled, steadied. This is a new trainer. Kieran McGee is a good trainer. This horse is coming from California to the lowest level at Laurel. I don't know if this horse can run, but this is a fresh face in a race that's just begging for someone to beat the 10. I'm using the 4 as a B. The other horse I'm going to use as a B, again, looks tough on paper, is the 11. The 11, classy but sassy, 10-1 morning line. Coming off a relatively small layoff. I like Hamilton Smith. I like the outside posts. I like these works. Again, you have to compare it to the rest of the field. Working consistently. I like the outside post. Um, and I like the jockey Rosado. And she shows some speed. Again, you're throwing some darts a little bit on the dartboard here. But when you go by and look at this field, it's just a field full of very slow horses. You want to bet the 2? The 2 is 0 for 7 and looks, pretty slow to me. Sure, she'll show speed. I can see people using the 2. I don't like the 2. The 3 looks awful. The 5 just doesn't do much for me at all. The 6 is a slow first-time starter. The 7 doesn't look very good. I don't like the coupled entry. The 1 and 1A don't appeal to me. The 9 looks awfully slow. There's just a lot of slow. The 12 looks slow. There's just a lot of slow horses in this field. I'm taking a flyer on the 8 as a top choice along with the 10, and I'm also going to use the 4 and the 11 in what I think is, frankly, a very difficult race. you're going to have to make a decision on what to do. Again, if you want to single the 10, I completely understand it. I just don't trust this horse at all, and I could never single this horse. I would rather single somewhere else for sure. Let's go on to leg 4 of the sequence right now. Leg 4 of this sequence is going to be the race 3 at Santa Anita Park. And the great thing, by the way, about this pick 5, if you've never played the Stronach 5, the races are very close together. The whole sequence will happen relatively quickly in like an hour and 20 minutes. The entire sequence will be over, or it may be a little longer than that. But it's not your normal like 2.5, 3 hour sequence that a pick 5 usually would be. So I really like that also about the sequence. Actually, first post, if you remember, was 4:30 Eastern Standard Time for leg 1. This is leg 4 with a post, if it's going to be correct, of 5:08. That's only about a 38-minute span between leg 1 and the beginning of leg 4. So the races just come quick, quick, quick. I love that about the sequence. It's going to be over, probably about an hour, it looks like, at the most. So let's talk about leg 4 at Santa Anita. This is where I start going a little bit thinner. This is a mile dirt race for 3-year-old maiden $30,000 claimers. When I say thinner, this is not an easy race, but I'm going to start taking stands here, especially in this race. We look down the PPs here. This is a 9-horse field. Again, feel free to watch some replays if you like. If you know me and you know this channel, I usually do show some replays. But again, I'm trying to shorten the video a little bit today. My top choice is going to be the 3, Hard Metal. There's a few things I like about the 3. First of all, she's consistent. Secondly, you see, look at the Beyers, 31, 47, 53. This horse is only a 3-year-old colt here. He seems to be improving. That is my one big angle. And my other second big angle that I love, in the last 3 races, no disrespect to the jockeys, has been Edwin Flores, Ruben Fuentes, and then again, Flores again. 3 low percentage jockeys, especially Flores. And now look who's on the 3. Umberto Rispoli takes over for this horse in a maiden 30. If that doesn't smell intense, I don't know what does. I've never seen a jockey carry a horse over a finish line, but this is a huge jockey upgrade. It'd be hard to argue that. So I like the improvement. I like the jockey upgrade here. This horse is a lone A for me. And the main reason this is a lone A is not so much because I think this horse lays over the field by any means, but unless you want to play, play a $500-$600 plus ticket, it's going to get expensive because remember, this is a dollar pick 5. And I'm personally just going to play this on my own. I have a budget, and so I have to start budgeting a little bit. I'm going to use the 3 as a lone A. Other horses I would absolutely use. The 2, Sky Navigator. I like the first time gelding. You see consistency, 57, 52. Frankly, has better numbers than the 3 right now. Is going turf to dirt. So if you like that angle, that's another good angle. I can easily see people using the 2 as a lone A or as a top choice. Again, I'm just trying to budget my money here. This horse also shows some trouble in his trouble lines. So feel free to watch that. I'm going to use the 2 as a B, can absolutely win the race. I'm also going to use the 7, Simmer Down, as a B horse. This horse is the morning line favorite, 3-1. I'm pretty sure this horse is going to go off as the post time favorite. She's had Ellingwood on her. Now, this is a filly going against the Colts. I'm not sure I like that too much. However, she's had Ellingwood on her and now gets Maldonado, who's a fantastic speed horse. You might think that is a huge jockey upgrade on the surface, but Ellingwood has had a very good meet. She's an apprentice, and now this horse is going to put on another 7 to 10 pounds by getting Maldonado on her. So obviously she can win the race, but she looks to be sort of an all or nothing type. She's going to try to wire the field. She absolutely can. She is a B for me. The other B is going to be the 8, Royal Orb, who should stalk off of the 7. Why are they not my top choices? I just don't trust either one of them. I think there's some other speed in the race, but the 7 and 8 are also B's for me. And as a C, I'm going to use the 4, Short Rib. for Jessica Pfeiffer. She's consistent. She's 0 for 4. This is a pretty quick turnaround. I'm not sure. Actually, it's not too quick. It's 3 weeks. I'm not sure I like the upside of this horse. Again, she's been betting her races and has not been able to get the job done. So, can she win? Yes, but I'm only going to use her as a C again because I'm trying to save some money. The reason why I think there's other speed, you see the one I think will show speed. Now the one is dropping down with Abel Cedillo. I'm not using the one, but I can see people absolutely using the one on their ticket. But this one is going to show speed from the inside. So the one is going to show speed uh, in this race, and you know the 7 and 8, at least on paper, and it shows speed. So I'm just not so. And the 9, who I'm not using, might also show some speed from the outside. It just seems to me that there's enough speed in the race to set it up for the 3 to come from just off it. But I completely understand if people want to make another decision with their top choices. So I'm going to use mainly 4 horses, 2, 3, 7, 8 in this sequence. But if you want to use the 1, you could use the 4. There's others you can use. So let's go to the last race. Now, before we go to the last race here, I just want to talk for a second. Now, the last race of this sequence is very interesting. Okay. The last race of the sequence is at Golden Gate. It's race 3. There is a monster favorite in this race. If you want to get cute and try to beat the monster in this last race, go for it. Based on the first 4 races, I would be ecstatic just to be alive to the huge favorite. This huge favorite's going to win. You have to make a decision as a handicapper how much equity, how much money you want to spend trying to beat the big favorite in the last race if you want to spend any money at all. If the horse that we're about to talk about does not win the last race, this thing is going to pay a ton no matter who wins the first 4, because I think this horse in the last race is going to be 2 to 5. But you're going to be spending money to try and beat a horse that seems to be almost a cinch. So you're just going to have to make a decision on that. And that's not an easy decision to make. I'm going to lean towards just singling this horse and hope that I'm alive to that horse. And the horse we're going to talk about, we're going to take a look at it right now. This is Golden Gate, race 3. This goes off at approximately 5:28 Eastern time. So again, this whole sequence is only about 1 hour long. Fantastic. You get 5 races in an hour, rapid fire. It's going to be very exciting. This is another pretty cheap race. It is a mile, 3-year-old fillies restricted maiden $8,000 claimers. However, it's not a big field. It's only a field of 8, and there are not a lot of options to go with here, in my opinion. The horse, you can see there is 7-2, 4-1 morning line. I think those are a little bit off. The horse that's going to take all the money, and for good reason, is the 6, Made in Carew. This is previously trained by Peter Miller. Now Steve Miotti has this horse for Orozco. This is an excellent jockey trainer combination. Just take a look at the buyers. This horse was in main specials, main 35, main 28. They're just trying to find a spot for this horse to win. This horse has buyers in the 56, 53. Now, this is her first race on the synthetics. However, she ran on turf before. I think she's got enough breeding. She's out of a lemon drop kid. I don't see any reason why the track should be a problem. She has 2 works over the track. And when you look at the other 2 possibilities in this race, in my opinion, really, which are the 1 and 2, and maybe the 3, you see the best buyers they've run, if you believe in buyers, are in the mid 30s. So you've got horses down the PPs, again, if you believe in buyers, and there's other, obviously, speed figures to look at, time form, thoroughgraphs, etc. We can go on and on. I mean, who else appeals in this race? The other best speed figures by the buyers are horses in the mid 30s. This horse has a 20-point advantage on the others. The 2, by the way, Malibu Jewel, as you can see here, faced Maiden Crew the last 2 times and lost. So the 2 lost to the 6. I'm just going to do some math here by 10 lengths and by 46 lengths the last time. but the 2 Summerlin was eased. So I wouldn't take too much into that. I am going to use, and as an extreme backup, I'm going to use the 2 Malibu Jewel as an extreme backup as a C because this horse has speed. She looks like on paper she's lone speed. If the 2 gets out of the gate, and she is dropping down also. So if she gets out of the gate and gets brave, I think the 2 could win this race. For Jonathan Wong, depending on the scratches and changes, I might move the 2 up to a B horse and upgrade this horse. Again, it's a good trainer. It's first Lasix. She is lone speed. She just looks awfully slow right now, but she's dropping. So I can easily see people going too deep in this race on a caveman ticket and using the 2. But if you're going to play a caveman ticket, that means you're now doubling your ticket in what already is a dollar pick 5. I guess if you want to use the 1 coming off a short layoff, looks too slow to me, but is dropping. So the 1 is dropping down with numbers that are equal to the 2. There's really no one else I would even consider in this race. So again, you're going to have to make a decision on what to do there. So in my opinion, the 6 is by far a standout in the last leg. But let me just say straight out, I would not be completely shocked if the 2 wins that race. Anyone else that wins that race, frankly, I would just be very surprised. So now it's time to look at the ticket. So let's take a look at the ABC. Now, as you all know, I prefer the ABC, a Steve Christ DRF ticket maker method. Again, if you're not familiar with it, take a look at it. It weighs the A's larger than the B's and the B's more than the C's. So the A's are my top choices. As you can see, it is a $264 ticket. Now, that is more than I usually play. However, 2 things. Number 1, it's a dollar increment minimum. So I would certainly play a $130, $132 50-cent ticket. So why not play a $264 $1 pick 5 ticket? Number 1. And number 2, there is a massive carryover. And it's on these carryover days I cannot resist these bets. You're getting 12% takeout on top of the carryover. It's a must if you're a horizontal player, in my opinion. There's my ticket. You can see it. And again, if you don't want to spend 264, if you love this ticket, go for it. Play it. Good luck to both of us. If you want to play a bigger ticket, get some friends together, or maybe you've got big pockets, sure, go ahead. If you play only A's, an all A ticket is a mere $12. That's it. All my A's, $12. Although I will readily admit in leg 4, I wouldn't feel great about only having the 3. I would go deeper. So go 2, 3, 7, 8 in leg 4. You could go 6, 8 in the first, 4, 5, 6 in the second, 8, 10 in the third, 2, 3, 7, 8 in the fourth, and single the 6 or go too deep. Again, there's a million different combinations you can play. There's my $264 ABC ticket. Let's take a look at the Caveman ticket right now. The Caveman ticket, again, this is just a straight ticket using all the horses of equal weight. You see, I'm very spread in the first 2. That is not a typo, by the way. I had to double check, but yes, just out of coincidence, I'm going 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 in the first and second legs. That is accurate based on my handicapping. I'm going to go 2 deep in the third leg, which, by the way, would make me extremely nervous, but that's probably what I would do. 4 deep, and then I would single the 6 on the end. If I were to change this ticket, I'd probably use less horses in the first and second leg and try to use more horses in the third leg. And if you really want to go thin early, then maybe you can throw the 2 or the 1 in the last leg of the sequence. Again, there's a lot of different ways that you can play this ticket. It's really up to you. So that is my opinion of the pick 5. Now, here's what I need you to do, and I really hope you're going to do this. Please, first of all, make sure you're subscribing. We need to increase the number of subscribers on this channel. I'd really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the support I'm getting on my YouTube channel and on Twitter. What you need to do is make sure you follow me on Twitter. You can see the address there on the scroll, at HKravitz, because on Friday, I will be sending out, after scratches, some upgrades and downgrades of horses I like more or less, depending on scratches that might occur at these different tracks, at these 4 different tracks. And let me just say again, the weather looks good everywhere except Laurel, where it might be wet conditions. I'm not sure it's gonna be raining, but the track might be a little bit wet at Laurel. But at Gulfstream, San Anita, and Golden Gate, the weather looks clear. The dirt should be fast at those races. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Good luck with that Stronach 5 on Friday. And again, please join me this Thursday night for the Fairgrounds Day. It's Louisiana Derby Day. We're going to have a live stream 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Please join me on this channel. If you want to have some fun also, below the video player here, not only comments, put in your Caveman Stronach Pick 5 ticket. Let's see who's going to be correct. I'm going to put in, a ticket, maybe let's say $100 or less. I mean, there's no reason to put $1,000 ticket down there. Maybe a $100 or less Caveman ticket below the video player just to have some fun. Let's see who's going to be correct. I'd appreciate, of course, any comments down below as well. Thank you very much. I hope to see you on my live stream Thursday night for Louisiana Derby Day at the fairgrounds. This is Howard Kravitz for Howard's Horse Handicapping. Good luck. Take care. Bye bye.